This video will cover moderate level questions regarding the topic of limit with a square root in a 0 over 0 form. This is the first question. It is in the 0 over 0 form with a square root. You can solve this question in two ways, by using the conjugate or by factoring. Let's do the familiar conjugate first. Multiply square root of x plus 2 on each side. Then limit as x approaches 4. Expand the numerator. Square root of x squared minus 2 squared over, but keep the denominator factored. So x minus 4 times square root of x plus 2 so the numerator is x minus 4 over x minus 4 times square root of x plus 2. Then cancel the common factor, which is x minus 4. So 1 over square root of x plus 2. Then put 4 into x, square root of 4 plus 2 equals 1 over 2 plus 2, which is 4. So you get 1 over 4. The second way is factoring with substitution. Let square root of x be a, then square each side. X equals a squared. Then x approaching 4 is the same as a approaching 2, because when x equals 4, square root of 4 equals 2, the limit becomes as a approaches 2, square root of x, which is a, so a minus 2 over x equals a squared minus 4, so a minus 2. Then we can factor the denominator as a minus 2, then a plus 2. Then we can cancel the common factor, which is a minus 2. So limit as a approaches 2, 1 over a plus 2. Then put 2 into a, 1 over 2 plus 2, which is 1 over 4. This is the next question. It can be solved with the same two techniques as question 1. Pause the video and see if you can solve it yourself. Once you are done, come back and you can go through it together. Did you figure it out? Let's check it together. I will show you the conjugate method first. Multiply 3 plus square root of x over 3 plus square root of x. Keep the numerator factored. And expand the denominator. So x minus 9 times 3 plus the square root of x over, this is 9 minus x. So keep the numerator. And I want to change it, 9 minus x. So we can cancel the common factor, so take out minus 1 and then change the order, x minus 9. and cancel the common factor. So 3 plus the square root of x over minus 1. And then put 9 into x. 3 plus the square root of 9 over minus 1 equals 3 plus 3 over minus 1. So the final answer is minus 6. The second way is factoring with the substitution. So let square root x be a, and then square each side to get x equals a square. And x approaching 9 is the same as a approaching 3, because when x equals 9, square root of 9 equals 3. And then rewrite the limit as a approaches 3, x means a squared, minus 9 over 3 minus a. And then we can factor a squared minus 3 squared. So a minus 3, then a plus 3 over, this is 3 minus a. Like before, change the order of the denominator by taking out the negative sign. So minus a minus 3. And then cancel the common factor, which is a minus 3. So limit as a approaches 3, a plus 3 over minus 1. Then put 3 into a. So 3 plus 3 over minus 1. So the answer is minus 6. This is the next question. It is like question 1 and 2 but harder. When you put 1 into x, it makes the 0 over 0 form with a square root. Again, there are two ways to solve. The first way is to use the conjugate, but there are students who think that this is too difficult because it is not in the shape you have seen so far. So let's think again. We have to change the order in the numerator. Group terms without radicals and with a radical. So we get limit as x approaches 1, x minus 2 plus the square root of x and x minus 1. Now we know what the conjugate number is. It is x minus 2 minus the square root of x. Multiply the numerator. This is x minus 2 squared minus the square root of x squared over, keep the factored form in the denominator. So x minus 1, x minus 2 minus the square root of x equals, this is x squared minus 4x plus 4 minus x over x minus 1, x minus 2 minus the square root of x. And then when we simplify the numerator, equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. So limit as x approaches 1, we can factor the numerator, x minus 1 and x minus 4 over x minus 1 times x minus 2 minus the square root of x. And then cancel the common factor. Then limit as x approaches 1, x minus 4 over x minus 2 minus the square root of x. Then put 1 into x, so 1 minus 4 over 1 minus 2 minus the square root of 1 equals, the numerator is minus 3 over, cancel 1 and minus 1, the minus 2. So the answer is 3 over 2. The second way is using substitution. I think this is a little bit easier than the first method. Let square root of x be a, then square each side to get x equals a squared. And then x approaching 1 is the same as a approaching 1. Then rewrite the limit. So limit as a approaches 1, so x means a squared, so a squared plus a minus 2 over x equals a squared minus 1, and you can factor the numerator, a plus 2, a minus 1 over the denominator is a plus 1, a minus 1, and we can cancel the common factor. So limit as a approaches 1, a plus 2 over a plus 1, then put 1 into a, so 1 plus 2 over 1 plus 1, which is 3 over 2. The next question is this. I hope you are more confident now. Let's solve it together. Again, there are two ways to solve. The first one uses the conjugate. You know how to find it now. Change the order in the numerator to rewrite it as x plus 2 minus 3 square root of x. So the conjugate number is x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x over x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x. If you're still confused, it is easier to see with the parentheses like this, without radical and with the radical part. Same thing. So without radical and with the radical part. Then expand the numerator. So x plus 2 squared minus 3 square root of x squared over, keep the factored form in the denominator, x minus 4 times x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x. Then simplify the numerator. This is x squared plus 4x plus 4 minus, this means 9x over x minus 4 x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x. When we simplify the numerator, this x squared, the 4x minus 9x, which is 5x minus 5x plus 4, and then we can factor this one into x minus 1, x minus 4 over x minus 4, x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x, and cancel the common factor. So x minus 1 over x plus 2 plus 3 square root of x, and then put 4 into x, So 4 minus 1 over 4 plus 2 plus 3 square root of 4 is 3 over 6 plus square root of 4 means 2. So 2 times 3, which is 6. So 3 over 12. So the answer is 1 over 4. The second way is to use substitution. So let square root of x be a, and then square each side. We will get x equals a squared, and when x approaching 4 is the same as a approaching 2, if x equals 4, square root of 4 equals 2. Now rewrite the limit as a approaches 2, so x means a squared minus 3 square root of x means a plus 2 over a squared minus 4. Then we can factor the numerator, a minus 1, a minus 2 over the denominator, a minus 2, a plus 2. Then cancel the common factor, which is a minus 2, then a minus 1 over a plus 2. Then put 2 into a, so 2 minus 1 over 2 plus 2. So the answer is 1 over 4. This is the next question. I will use substitution. Let cube root x be a, then cube each side to get x equals a cubed. X approaches minus 3 is the same as a approaches minus 2, because cube root of minus 8 is the same as minus 2. Then we can rewrite the limit as a approaches minus 2, x means a cubed over cube root x means a plus 2 Do you remember the formula? A cubed plus b cubed equals a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So a cubed plus 8 means 2 cubed equals a plus 2, a squared minus 8 times 2, which is 2a, plus b squared, which is 4. So we can factor a plus 2, a squared minus 2a plus 4 over a plus 2. Then cancel the common factor. So a squared minus 2a plus 4. Then put minus 2 into a, minus 2 squared minus 2 times minus 2 plus 4. So minus 2 squared means 4. Minus 2 times minus 2, which is plus 4. Then another plus 4. So the answer is 12. This is the last question. When you put 0 into x, the denominator is 0, but the answer of the limit is b. This means that it must be in the 0 over 0 form. Therefore, the numerator equal 0, and then put 0 into x. So square root of a plus 0 minus the square root of 3 equals 0. Square root of a minus the square root of 3 equals 0. Then square root of a equals square root of 3. Then square each side. You get a equals 3. Now put a equals 3 back into the original equation. So limit as x approaches 0, square root of a equals 3, so put here 3 plus x minus the square root of 3 over x equals b. And then back to left side. We get the familiar equation, so we must multiply the conjugate of the numerator. So times square root of 3 plus x plus square root of 3 over square root of 3 plus x plus square root of 3. Then expand the numerator. Square root of 3 plus x squared minus the square root of 3 squared over, and keep the factored form in the denominator, so x times square root of 3 plus x plus the square root of 3, and then expand 3 plus x minus 3 over x times square root of 3 plus x plus square root of 3. You can cancel 3 and minus 3. And x over x times square root of 3 plus x plus square root of 3. Then you can cancel the common factor, which is x. And 1 over cube root 3 plus x plus the square root of 3. And then put 0 into x. So 1 over square root of 3 plus 0 is same as square root of 3 plus another square root of 3. So 1 over 2 square root of 3. Now we need to multiply times square root of 3 square root of 3 to rationalize the denominator. The final answer is square root of 3 over 2 times 3, which is 6. I hope this video has been helpful. The previous lesson is also linked in the description bar below. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.